It's Wednesday, January 30th. I'm Scott.
I'm Rim.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, speculation on why the anime industry is doing poorly. Let's do this.
Well, we both got home late today, so I'm sure this is going to be a fantastic show.
Oh, the cowboy hat, it is on my head.
Cowboy hat, you say?
Yeah.
Perhaps you were logged into a server and doing something you maybe should have thought a second about.
No, actually, it was I think on the 18th of January, I fixed a bug, but I didn't actually fix it. I made a typo, and that caused something to break, and then, of course, we find out about this, right? We don't discover it until today, first of all, right? And we don't discover it until 5 minutes before I'm going to leave. So, normally I'm like, oh, screw you, time's up, I'm going home. Right? But, I broke it. I got to fix it. And it was, the thing processes at the end of the month. So, of course, the end of the month is tomorrow. So, so I said, okay, yeah, I screwed it up. I'll fix it. So I stayed there and fixed it, which meant, I stayed at work an extra 30 minutes to fix it because, I knew how to fix it. And we had problems with this in the past. I had scripts to repair it and such, but I had to do some things, It took a half hour, which, of course, means I get home an hour later than I usually do. So
see, that's a different brand of cowboy hat. Usually, when I've put on my cowboy hat, I've just typed something. It's like, oh, I see a problem. I know how to fix it. And I type something in some Unix server, Linux server, and I hit enter. And it's not until after I hit enter that my brain says, all right.
You just typed rmrf/. Good job.
It's more like my brain says, all right, you just typed that, and now it's too late to undo it. What did that do, and what server were you SSH'd into?
If it caused a problem, you'll find out soon enough. And if it didn't cause a problem, well, then everything's Jim Dandy.
Yes, everything's Jim Dandy fine until I get arrested.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, there's obvious news to talk about in the anime world, but for obvious reasons, we're going to kind of hold off on that until the main bit. So thus, Scott, what do you have in the anime news world
well,
that does not relate to perhaps the elephant sitting in the room?
Well, my news was going to be that elephant, so you sort of stole my thunder. I don't know what I'm going to do for a news, which means, back to my policy, it's time for Geekbyte. See, wow. I said the right one.
You did. I'm proud.
You thought I was going to say Geek Back by accident, but no.
What are you going to Geekbyte? What have you watched that I haven't?
I didn't watch anything except Galaxy Express TV show, but I got this manga here. It's the Guin Saga Manga Volume 1, The Seven Magi, from Vertical. It's from Vertical. It can't be bad, right?
Well, is that still true?
Well, let me give you a little backstory about this Guin Saga real quick, right? The Guin Saga is fucking famous. I didn't know shit about it, but if you would have said Guin Saga to me, I would have said, I heard of that, but I don't know anything about it. Now I know a little bit more about it, right? Apparently, it is a series of fantasy novels by a guy named Kaoru Kurimoto, right? It's been in continuous publication since 1979. He planned, when he started, to make 100 volumes. So far, he's made 118 volumes.
Ooh.
It's like, think like Lord of the Rings of Japan. That's the kind of fantasy we're talking here, right? And the basic story is, there's a dude. He's got a leopard head and a humanoid body, and he's a badass. Fantasy occurs. If you like Berserk, I
was about to ask, is it like the Escaflowne style of fantasy, the Lodos War style of fantasy, or the Bastard?
It's somewhere between, Berserk. It's the storyline stylings are sort of more like Berserk, but the thematic things are more Lord of the Rings-ish, In fact, the Berserk creator, according to Wikipedia, said that Guin Saga was a large influence on him. All right, so there's a series of 118 novels, and so far, Vertical is actually publishing the novels in English as well. So far, they've put out 4. We got 114 to go. And of course, in Japan, the guy's always writing more, because he's a machine.
This is one of those times where the typical policy of, I'll just wait for a box set, probably won't fly.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to read the novels. We'll see if they're any good, because this manga, all right, I read this manga not knowing anything about the Guin Saga, except Leopard Head guy, right? And the thing is, this is a pretty good, fantasy story. There's some weird stuff going on. The leopard guy comes in, and it seems like you don't know enough. About really the backstory, which I found out later. Oh, because this totally starts somewhere in the middle of the Guin Saga, even though it's volume 1 of the manga. The manga here is not actually just a manga version of the novels. It's actually like a Guin Saga story by the guy who writes the Guin Saga. It's just in manga form. So it's like if you're not already familiar with the Guin Saga, a lot of things I guess it's assumed you would know while reading this, you don't know. So yeah, I basically read it not knowing information that the book assumed I would know, and I think there were things missing because of that. But despite not knowing things, it was pretty fucking entertaining. I mean, you got giant spiders, you got guys chopping people's heads off, you got
a leopard head.
Yeah, you got this like sage, and his head falls off, and then he puts his head back on. And the leopard-headed guy is the main character, and he's sort of like a Horatio kind of.
Wait a minute. Now,
Mulaflaga kind of guy. Where
is he movie Horatio or books Horatio?
He's kind of like he's always smart. He knows what's going on, and he's super badass all at the same time. But still, there'll be times where he's like, "Oop." Kind of like uh-oh with the humor and the core,
Okay, I wasn't quite sure what really meant.
Well, it'll be like something like one frame he'll be like, I'm gonna kick ass, and the next frame he'll be like, whoop-doo.
To me, that sound effect is what I heard in my head when Sean Connery playing in that manga Samurai Crusader.
Yeah, because he's sort of like that too, kind of in a way. And even though I didn't, I went into this sort of not with the appropriate background in the Guin Saga, it was still good, and it shows that Vertical is really smart, and they only publish the high-quality stuff. But I would still probably recommend that you go and get some knowledge and experience with the Guin Saga before trying to read this manga. That way you will get the maximum effect, because I definitely felt like if I knew what was going on, it would have been way more awesome than it was.
Well, so you got to level up. You got to read some other things, kind of build up to this. Get the epic drops.
I'm going to go and get some of the novels that Vertical published and maybe read one or two. Of course, I'll read those way later, like after I read some other things that I was supposed to be reading, like other fantasy novels maybe.
What about that anime that you said you were going to watch?
I'm going to do that.
We were thinking about reviewing this week instead of kind of copping out and talking about current events.
This week, I'm doing it.
Oh, are you?
Yes, I am.
It's already Wednesday night.
I meant, for the next week.
So you're going to finish it this week?
No, next week.
So you're going to finish it next week?
I'll finish it soon enough.
Right. So the only other news of interest other than the news is that Otakon is run by Otakorp. And Otakorp had a president. The president was Sam Dang, who is known as generally being one of those kind of epic con staff at Otakon dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has stepped down for undisclosed personal reasons that apparently are not related to the con.
Yeah, it sounds like this is legitimately someone's personal issues with their private life and not some sort of, he says personal reasons, but really there was a drama with the con. No, I don't think there was any con drama.
Yeah, now luckily I expected after this announcement to see, the usual shitstorm of internet people not understanding what they're talking about, but people were kind of quiet about it. But just to make sure, all indications are that this will have no effect whatsoever on Otakon happening and or being awesome.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a little bird who may or may not be a Doctor Who fan has mentioned to me briefly, I'm gonna paraphrase the statement. I can't say more right now, but this year's Otakon may, quote, blow everything Otakon has ever done out of the water.
See, I don't know what's going to happen in August. We're going to go to Otakon, which, if it blows every previous Otakon out of the water, right, we'll be like shot to hell, right? 2 weeks after that, Seattle, PAX.
God.
Which they just said they're increasing the total size of PAX by, what, 20%?
Well, that's because we're going. No, they have to accommodate the the Geeknights fan base.
Yeah, let's see. The convention, this is from Penny Arcade, their news today. The exhibition hall, which is already massive, is being doubled in size for 2008. That's their, it's not a dealer's room. It's sort of like the E3 equivalent where, all the game companies set up their booths, right? So they're doubling that space. The overall convention space is being increased by 20%.
Of course.
And of course, they have these epic pictures here, and oh my God.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the closest thing that we geeky atheists have to these spiritual journeys. I really think so.
You know, I feel like...
And even if that's not true, I think it's because Penny Arcade makes you believe it that it becomes true.
I have a feeling maybe I should just take off the 2 weeks between these two cons.
I wish I could. I did get, final permission day to take some unpaid days. So.
I actually discovered that I have like 5 more vacation days than I thought I had.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get some unpaid days, so I think we're going to do the trip. We're going to do all the 3 cons that we need days off for, and I think I'm going to go to Florida, too, to see my grandma, who I haven't seen in, like, a year.
I'm
I'm
thinking about just taking a few days off to chill, like after Otakon or something.
Well, you could do whatever you want, but it's actually really convenient. Like the Monday after Katsucon is President's Day, which we now get off, but we didn't get it off last year. And the Monday after PAX, I think, is Labor Day, so we get that off because it's fucking Labor Day.
Not bad.
Yeah, so saving days.
But yeah, if Otakon is epic, and all indications are that Otakon is going to do something epic this year, and I point out, this is just observation, that the last epic thing Otakon did was get freaking Lark to come and do a full-on concert in the arena.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be 2 mix.
It's gonna be
2 mix.
No, it's gonna be Ayumi Hamasaki and Utada Hikaru duets with Yoko Kano on piano.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, and
and
they're gonna raise Tezuka from the dead, and Miyazaki's coming.
Satoshi Kon is going to animate
an
entire
Miyazaki,
film.
Satoshi Kon, Miyazaki, and Tezuka, risen from the zombie Tezuka, are all gonna get up, work together, and create an anime live for us while at Otakon, and then we can watch it there, and that will be the only time it's shown, and then it'll be destroyed, and zombie Tezuka will go back to his grave.
It'll be animated in real time.
And and since Yoko Kano and Ayumi will be there, they're gonna make all the music.
Oh yeah, and once again, right? But yeah, speaking,
I think that is pretty much the as awesome as Otakon is, and as much as I'm sure they are going to completely blow us away. Just looking at the history of things PAX has done and how it has consistently topped itself. I really think that they are going to need Zombie Tezuka to beat PAX.
Or 2 mix.
I don't know.
God,
2 mix doesn't excite me so much.
I just don't, not me so much anymore either, but I got to admit, in the 90s, 2 Mix was, as far as I could tell, the best band ever before I realized that...
You were way into the 2 Mix before. Like, I didn't even find out about it until I got to RIT, and I didn't, every song is the same, so...
Yeah, I didn't realize that right away.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, every year for a long time, there was always the rumor that, yeah, I heard Otakon's got 2 Mix. Yeah, I heard Otakon never had 2 Mix.
Never.
What were you people thinking?
Had Yoko Kano once.
But yeah, Otakon's going to be epic. PAX is going to be epic. We're going to be at both. And don't forget Katsucon.
August 2008. Epic.
Things of the day. Now, I really like, aside from 2 Mix, Japanese, like, historical kind of music. Like with the traditional old instruments, the drum that goes pong, pong, pong. The guy that goes, oh... I can't do it. I can't make those noises. The nice little guitar with the little...
It's not a guitar, but it has that sort of weird-shaped white plucking thing.
It's like a gigantic fan pick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I wish I knew what they were called so I wouldn't sound like a moron.
Yeah, but I really like that music. In fact, what was that band that I think Alex was listening to that was all kind
Something Brothers?
Yeah.
Now we're huge morons.
Regardless.
Way to prepare for your thing of the day.
I like that music a lot. And someone sent this to me. I thought it was Scott, but I guess it wasn't because he hadn't seen it until I showed it to him. So whoever sent this to me, tell me who it was because I forgot, and you're kind of cool for finding this. The website is in Paknarese, but it is Smoke on the Water as done by a band playing these traditional Japanese instruments. And it looks like this was a kind of big deal, normal classical concert. And... they just kind of randomly in the middle of the set just played Smoke on the Water instead of whatever they were going to be playing because the audience has the reaction you would expect of rabble, 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 hee, 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 rabble, 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 followed by cheering.
Okay.
So do you have a thing of the day?
Yes, I do. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you can handle this thing of the day.
I don't know if it can beat Smoke on the Water as done by a traditional Japanese band on a website that is in Paknarese.
It's not as awesome as that because it's not really a cool thing. It's just sort of a wow internet's kind of thing, right? So they have those the OS tons, right?
I know all about
Where
OS times.
they create characters to represent operating systems, right? And they've got the Mecha Musumes.
Yeah.
All right, what else do they have? They have a whole bunch of things like that, right?
Anyway,
the newest or the most recently discovered by me of those things is here. Are you ready? Can you handle this?
we'll see.
It is Headphone Musume. What we have here are basically incredibly fancy headphone sets from around the world, such as the Sennheiser HD 4140, the Bose Triport, the Technics RF30, even the Etymotics that are way more expensive than ours, the the Grado RS1.
I'll say one thing just related to that. I don't care how much you are into audio, how much you think it matters. There is no reason to ever spend more than about $200 on headphones.
That's true. But the cost Porta-Pro. But yeah, they've got a picture here of a girl for every set of headphones, and all the girls are wearing the associated headphones.
So they're not hanging on some guy's head and yelling in his ear.
Look over here. Look at this.
It's kind of a logical extension. I have a feeling that eventually there will be a ton for every possible device that has ever been crafted by man.
This isn't a ton. This is a Musume. Get it right.
The same thing.
No, they're not. I don't know what the difference is.
I'll say one thing. They're all girls, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fancy that.
They're all girls. They're not really that perverted.
None of them are.
No, well, some of them are a little bit, but...
Which ones? What have you been looking at?
Oh, some of these are. Like this one that's where, the AKG K271 is a little perverted.
Well, that's understandable because those are some really, really perverted headphones. Let me tell you.
The AKG K1. It seems like the AKG ones are more perverted than some of the others. What's up with that? Yeah. So this just shows you how far those crazy Japanese people go. Plus, you look at the quality of the art on this. It's not like the best art in the universe, but someone with art skills made this. So I'd like to get them to fucking design shit for us instead of making useless headphone musumes.
They're not useless.
Oh, hey, what's the use then?
I wasn't going to back that statement up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you get someone challenges you, you step down.
Right. So, the big news. We're not going to get into the details of it. I'm sure if you care, you read Anime News Network, and that's pretty much as you're going to get about this. But ADV is in some trouble.
Yeah, we can't exactly figure out what the real, exactly the full story of who, what, where, when, why, how, but they've...
Well, we know who.
Well, okay, but the what, where, when, why, how, but they have removed various titles that they previously licensed from their website. And, I've been to the ADV website many times in the past, right? And we're talking about a website here where these people had 3 volumes of Yotsuba on the shelves and not one mention of Yotsuba on their website, right? It is a shittily, poorly updated website and not frequently updated. So the fact that they're removing titles from their site showed that there was a problem and people looked into it. And apparently, yes, they've... through some sort of business of dealings, who knows the exact details.
They won't say because the anime industry is a secret cabal in this country.
Yeah, we don't really understand exactly what happened. Had to do with some kind of financer, something company. I don't know. I don't understand it. But they lost or temporarily lost the licenses to some things they licensed.
Yeah, now...
the only one I care about, which is Project Blue Earth SOS, and the other ones I don't give a shit.
See, we don't know, because there was a letter that was leaked that was sent to retailers, but then someone came forward and said that wasn't true, and it just... I'm not going to say the obvious that maybe if you weren't always so secretive about all this...
people wouldn't be spreading bullshit rumors if you just came out and said what the deal was.
I think the other problem is
maybe your fans would feel closer to you and give you more money if you were more friendly with them instead of distant and secretive.
I think the other problem is that they are kind of keeping silent, and as a result, all it really does is lend veracity to all these rumors.
Yeah, pretty much.
But the official statement that they, as of recording of Geeknights, that they have put forth is that, quote, "We know there are a lot of rumors swirling about, and that fans are looking for assurances that ADV will continue to distribute the anime series they know and love. While we can't go into any detail at this time, please know that ADV is working through a few short-term challenges and fully intends, I note the word intend, to continue our releases. We thank you for your patience, and as far as I can see, that is all they have said.
Oh, we're having technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Now, that is not really...
That doesn't instill a lot of confidence.
It's not really what I want to talk about, because what I've seen the internet saying about this is largely... It's all the fan subs' fault. You damn pirates ruined it for all of us. We told you this would happen, and now it's happening. You gotta buy anime to support anime. If you don't buy anime, anime is gonna go away, and I'm just gonna keep talking until I run out of air in my lungs.
Here's the thing I
I
find really interesting, right, is that Geeknights went under, right? But other than that, other than Geeknights going under, we really, there's no information about sales figures for anime DVDs or anything like that, right? We always complain there's no sales figures. Yet, for the past many weeks, people have been starting to discuss and rumble about anime DVD sales going down the shitter. How did you know they were going down the shitter? How did anyone know?
I think the only thing I have to go on is word of mouth, and I know that I don't buy anime, and I know that most of the people I know...
I buy anime just rarely.
Well, but as a result, look at the shows I have bought in recent memory. Let's see. I bought Utena again. I bought Escaflowne again. I bought Evangelion again. I bought El Hazard again.
When'd you buy Evangelion for the first time?
Well, I bought it for the club.
Yeah, okay.
With the club's money.
Yeah. When'd you buy Escaflowne for you besides the time you just bought it?
On VHS.
You didn't buy it for you. Someone else bought it. It's not yours. Where are those VHSs?
I sold them to Ken.
Oh, you sold them to him? I thought he bought them in the first place.
He bought like the second half of the series, but I bought the first half.
Uh-huh.
Because no one wanted to like that. No one liked that show until I showed it to them. They're like, it has big ear, or big noses. I don't get it. And then I was like, well, you're going to watch and you're going to like it. And then, oh, yeah, I guess they liked it. But I can't think of a new show I've bought.
New show. I bought Master Keaton on a discount rack. I'm buying Cowboy Bebop, that new cheap box set.
Oh, yeah, because Cowboy Bebop just came out like last month.
I would have bought Project Blue Cheeky SOS. Oh, but wait, they just lost the license for that. Who knows what's going to happen?
Now, what we want to talk about tonight, and we'll see how far we go with this, because this could be broken up in any number of topics, but... it's either why I don't buy anime DVDs, or more importantly, why no one's buying anime DVDs. Now, if this is wrong, if this is a lie, and in fact, anime DVD sales are just fine, well, I'd just ask for anyone in the industry to tell us we're wrong, and I'll gladly say, oh, yes, it turns out that anime sales are fine, but every indication I have is that your DVDs aren't selling.
Well,
at all.
I think this episode is really gonna be two things, right? It's gonna be and one is a result of the other. This episode is just gonna be us speculating, and you know what I found? Speculation. You know what I found out? A lot of really entertaining shows on TV and radio are just people sitting around speculating, So, especially things like sports shows and stuff like that, where there's no actual news. People deliver the news. Then what do?
Well, luckily,
all they can do besides after they comment on the news is speculate. And apparently the speculating is mad entertaining. So get ready. Speculation.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the anime industry is going to be okay in the end, because Cowboy Bebop 2 is coming out tomorrow, and
all right, so let's start talking about why we already did a show on this is not a charity, whatever, so I don't want to retread that ground.
But in the forum recently there was a discussion about this. Region 1 anime DVD sales are in the crapper, we think. And the argument basically came down to half the people saying, it's you damn dirty fan subber pirates not watching the show on the fan sub and not buying it. That's why there's no money in anime anymore. And the other half of people saying, I don't care.
Well, here's the thing, right? With the fan subs. Let's get the fan... We could do a whole show on the stupid fan subs just to get it out of the way, right? I think, personally, right, everything that I've ever seen, right, I watch the fan subs, right? And I also buy the anime, but rarely. And you know what? I'm going to be perfectly honest. I am not lying. If you choose not to believe me, oh well, right? I don't have some sort of addiction to anime. It's not like crack or heroin where I need anime, right? If the show wasn't on fansub, I just wouldn't hear about it and wouldn't watch it. Like, what's one of the new shows we just watched?
Spice and Wolf.
Right, Spice and Wolf, right? Spice and Wolf is an okay show. It was a free fansub. It was incredibly easy to get and incredibly convenient to watch. It cost me nothing. So I watched an episode or two, right? If that show, let's say fansubs didn't exist and Spice and Wolf was only on DVD, and let's even give them the benefit of the doubt. I heard about the show and I found out that I would like it, right? I probably wouldn't buy it.
You know what I'd do? I'd Netflix it at best.
I'm only watching it because it's free. I mean, I want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it so badly that I'm going to pay money for it. I only want to watch it a very tiny bit. So because it's so easy for me to watch it, my desire is very low, but the effort required to achieve that desire is also very low. Therefore, I watch it. If the difficulty required to achieve the desire was higher, such as I had to buy the DVD, and my desire for it would not change, so then I just wouldn't watch it. And I think anime is very popular because it's so easy to watch with the fan subs. There are all these people who are watching the fan subs. They're watching it because they have a slight desire to watch anime. Not a huge desire, just a little bit of desire. But it's so easy, so they watch it. And if it wasn't easy, they just wouldn't watch. They're not losing out on DVD. The people who want to buy the DVDs are buying them. The people who have a strong desire to watch these shows, those people are buying DVDs. I've never met anyone who was like, I want to watch anime really badly. I need it like crack. I'm willing to go through any, steps in the whole world to watch it. I need it so badly that I would buy it on DVD, but I'm not going to buy it on DVD. I'm going to just watch the fan subs and save a bunch of money. Ha 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 ha. I've never met anyone has such a strong desire to watch pays for it.
No, they don't. There's a lot of kids who are super into like Naruto or whatever, and they love that stuff, and they pirate it because
they
they're
don't
cheap.
They don't have money.
Yeah, but they could probably convince their parents.
I don't know.
See, I'm going to go on a slightly different tack here because, I mean, it's one thing to say, yeah, well, I'll watch the fan sub, but when I watch fan subs, I don't watch a whole show on fan sub. I'll watch a couple episodes, and I
haven't watched the whole show on fan subs since college.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist was the last show I watched entirely fan sub. Then you know what? If the DVDs had come out, I'm going to be honest with Full Metal Alchemist is a good example because if the DVDs were coming out while the show was still really wicked popular, right? Like at that time, I probably would have bought them, because the show was so popular right then and there, right? But the show, after you finished watching it, there was no desire to ever watch it again. It was a one-time show. So
that's the thing. That's the tack I'm going on here is that one, all right, I'll look at me. The example of me as a person and why, despite being a huge anime fan, and
having lots of money.
And having plenty of money and not pirating, I still don't buy any anime. Let's see. First off, the only reason I would ever buy a DVD, and it's not just anime, it's for anything.
Yeah, me too.
Is if either one, it's something that I expect to watch multiple times over the course of my life. Two, that I want to lend to and show to other people.
Mm-hmm.
If one or both of those are not true, I'm not going to buy it because there's no reason to. Now, all right, let's look at the legal ways I can watch my anime without buying it. One, Netflix. Now you say, yeah, they get some money if the Netflix buys the DVDs, and that is true, but you don't get nearly as much money if Netflix buys 4 copies of your DVD, even if they're expensive rental copies, and then every anime fan watches those DVDs, versus if they buy them for $23 each.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some, I don't know exactly the finances of that situation, but I can definitely pretty much guarantee that, you need one rental is not as much money as a purchase at Best Buy. There's no way.
Now, the thing is, Netflix serves the purpose of one thing, and that is, all right, there's a show I want to watch. It already aired on Japan. It's done airing. I heard it was good, so now I want to watch it. Well, I'm going to put it in my Netflix queue. I don't care when I see it. I'm going to see it at some point, and that's it. Now, if I want to see something more urgently or I want to see it while it's coming out, the option would be obviously to watch it on TV. Now, you might say, yeah, but a lot of anime isn't on TV. Well, I get to that. Let's say that all anime was on TV in the U.S. Mm-hmm. It was just on TV at like 8 o'clock with ads, and that's how they made all their money.
Or we lived in Japan. How about we live in Japan?
Yeah, or I spoke Japanese, so I get a satellite, and I pay, and I can just watch anime.
No, that too.
Now, if anime were on TV, like Spice and Wolf is a good example, or FMA, or anything.
What about those animes that are on like over-the-air broadcast in like one part of Japan?
Well, I'm screwed there.
Yeah.
But then, all right, those shows.
I have a house in Osaka with an internet connection, and it goes to my house in New York.
Now, most shows like that, like most media in general, most television shows, unless there's something crazy awesome, I only want to watch it once. Then I want to watch it as it comes out. So I'm going to watch it on TV. All right, I'll watch it on TV as it comes out. But I'm not an old man. I have a TiVo. So I tell my TiVo to record all the anime I want to see off of the TV whenever it comes on. And then whenever I want to watch it, I sit down and I watch it, skipping all of the ads along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are a lot of arguments one way or another, but the fact is that me downloading a fan sub and watching it, and then not watching that fan sub again and not buying the DVDs, is no different than me TiVoing a show, not watching the ads, and then not keeping it or buying the DVD or ever watching it again. Because the same amount of money changes hands regardless. And in fact, you could argue that the TiVo solution, while perfectly legal, is more fraudulent, because now the only way that show is still making money off the TV is if the advertisers are fooled into thinking that I saw those ads that I clearly did not.
That starts a whole nother show about how selling ads is all about lying to people.
Well, especially when it comes to television ads, because you can just skip them. You don't have to watch them.
Yep.
And I don't.
Yep.
So, all right, all the ways I have of watching anime, let's go one step further. Let's say a show's really good, and I buy it because I really like it. All right, I bought Escaflowne. Pretty much no one I know bought Escaflowne. You want to know why? Because I lent my copy to everyone who wanted to see it.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
Or Evangelion. We own it, right? Only one person in the entire front row crew needs to own any anime ever, because we'll all just lend each other DVDs, or we'll all get together and have a marathon.
Oh, but most anime fans are losers with no friends. So basically, it's because people are going to conventions and making friends that's ruining the anime industry, because they have to sell less DVDs. But everyone's a troubled loner like comic book fans. They can sell more copies because they have no one to share with.
Because I can say one thing. At RIT, I remember, all right, someone would have money and they'd buy an anime DVD from MediaPlay for like $25, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would then watch that anime DVD multiple times in lounges with crowds of like 10 or 15 people every time. So none of those people had to buy the DVD.
This is when an anime DVD was like a new thing. Like, oh my God, it's on DVD. I can't believe it.
And I guess the point there, there's a lot of other ways I can watch anime, but every single way that I can watch anime, except one of them, is perfectly legal, perfectly legitimate, and in no way gives any substantial amount of money to any anime producer or creator.
Yep.
So there's a problem here, because I'm arguably a huge anime fan. I love anime. I've seen Utena like 7 times because it's like this amazing show, and Cowboy Bebop and Escaflowne and half of those Lupin movies.
All right, but let's say you like the Spice and Wolf show, right?
I really like Spice
all
and
right,
Wolf.
What if the only way to get it at all was to buy the DVDs for like $15 each for like 4 or 5 episodes? Would you buy it?
See, the thing is, I bought Escaflowne because I could buy the whole box set for $23 because it was on sale. I bought Evangelion because I could buy the whole series for $30.
So even a huge anime fan with plenty... This is all anecdotal, but, this is a speculation show here, right? A huge anime fan who's not some high school kid with no money, someone with a real job and lots of money, right? Arguably, you don't have enough free time to spend on the anime, and that probably would change things, but... You're only willing to spend $23 for an entire anime series.
Oh, it's even worse. All right. Master Keaton. Master Keaton is one of those shows. When I say those shows, I'll get to that, because I think this is the core of the problem. But Master Keaton is a show where there is, with one exception, that exception being the Cali Man of the Desert, there is no reason to ever watch an episode of Master Keaton more than once. Because everything, the drama, the suspense, and everything is gone. It's like Bleach and Naruto. The shows are good, but... You've seen an episode, you know what happened, you know how it was resolved, and they're not the kind of show, they're like a TV show in America. You watch an episode, and other than the crazy, rare, amazing shows like The Simpsons, no one's going to watch an episode of that again. An episode of Master Keaton again is just boring. So
true.
I bought Master Keaton. Scott and I bought...
I bought it.
Well, yeah, I was going to buy it, but
it was from who those people with the really good DVDs.
We bought it because it was only $5 a disc.
It was real cheap.
And while we bought it, and I'm glad I watched it, I would rather have Netflixed it, because I'm never going to watch it again. I'm probably going to lend or give away the entire set.
Hey, it's mine. What are you doing?
You're probably going to lend it.
I got to watch it all, and then I can lend it.
Yes, but after you watch it, you don't care if you still have those DVDs. You're never going to watch them again.
Probably not, no. I mean, we bought those Gasaraki VHSs, and we watched those, I think, twice, and then, But like Initial D, right? I've watched those DVDs how many times?
Yeah, or Escaflowne.
Gundam Seed, how many times we watched those?
I've seen Gundam Seed 2.5 times.
Macross TV series, I own that. Actually Macross TV series, because back when it first came out on DVD from Anime Ego, they had a pre-order for the box set of the original Macross TV series, subtitled only, remastered. And that was like, holy shit, this has never been something I could see ever before, because I had seen Robotech, but the original Macross TV series, holy shit. So I was willing to pay, it was like $200-something at the time, because it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is like my only chance in the entire universe, right? Because I thought it was, it is something I wanted desperately, and I thought the supply was very low, thus the amount of money I was willing to pay went up. But that's not true anymore for anything. Even if you came out with something else that I desperately wanted to see in a rare Ultra box set just like that.
Project Blue GQ for $40.
The whole thing for $40?
Per DVD.
No, not going to happen. Even though it's something I really, really, really want to see, because I've only seen one episode and I loved it. I really want to own it on DVD because I think I would watch that many times. I've already watched the first episode like 5 times, right?
I have a worry about that show. I feel like, sadly, the first episode set up expectations way too high. I don't think the show can keep up that level of awesome.
I think it's going to be like the Read or Die OAV in terms of quality.
It might be. Read or Die is like crazy exception in that it started with this level of awesome right away that you look at it and you think, all right, there's no way they could keep this up. This is going to turn into one of those gonzo shows. But they kept it up, and part of that was because the show was really, really short.
Yeah. Well, Project Blue Cheeky, I think, is a short OAV also, or short. It's very short. I don't think it's a lot of episodes. So
yeah, but Spice and Wolf. All right, if it was on TV, I'd watch it by TiVoing it, and that's it. I would never buy the DVDs. It's definitely not going to be a show that I'm going to watch over and over again forever, and it's going to be timeless, unless that show really goes in a really interesting direction.
Yep.
But so I'm never going to buy the DVDs. It's not even a question. So because
if it wasn't fan subbed, we just wouldn't watch it. The fan subs aren't ruining the show or causing them not make money. We're not going, watch the fan subs instead of buying it. It's if there were no fan subs, if it wasn't on TV, we just wouldn't watch it.
Well, what I'm saying too is that if it were on TV, which is the best way to show a show like that, they're still not really going to make any money because I'm pretty sure that the anime
they make money by lying to advertisers.
Because that's the thing, though. The anime watching demographic probably heavily overlaps with the technological enough to know that you can skip ads in television demographic.
I don't know. The Adult Swim gets enough ads to make monies.
Yeah, but how many people watch those ads?
I don't know.
I really don't think that many people do.
But they still make money because they lied to the advertisers, and the advertisers still pay out because they don't know any better.
I don't get it. Here's the thing. Forget, let's say everyone else watches the ads. But now I'm not advocating this. I'm just pointing it out as an interesting conundrum. Really, I want all listeners to answer this. How is me watching Spice and Wolf on American TV with a TiVo, skipping every single ad, any different than watching the fan sub?
It's dubbed.
All right. So it's worse for me.
Yeah, it actually cost them more money because they had to pay for that dub. Whereas the subtitles, they didn't have to pay anything.
So I'm curious.
Paid a lot less.
But think about it economically. I mean, what is the difference? Morals aside, just think about the economics of it, because all that matters in the end is the economics. And the economics are that I don't think the anime industry in America is doing very well at all.
No, I really don't think they are.
Now, what I think the primary reason, and it relates to kind of everything we said, is pretty simple. The place they make all their money, as far as we can tell, is merchandising. The majority of the merchandising is for the super popular pulpy shows.
The shonen fighting stuff.
The super popular
the
pulpy shows.
The Bleaches, that sort of thing.
Are the shows that have 1 million episodes that people only watch once. And they're the kind of show that you watch
Dragon
on TV
Ball.
And you forget about.
I mean, there are some crazed fans who will watch Naruto again or watch Dragon Ball again. They'll want to own those things on DVD and watch them again and again and whatever. But most of the Naruto fans, they just want to see the newest episode and go, oh my God, what happened this week? Oh my God, what happened this week?
And in fact, I see a lot of these people, they'll buy like 1 or 2 DVDs, but they'll buy the DVDs that have the specific episodes that were crazy awesome, and they don't care about everything else. So what you've got here is a market that is based primarily on making money off of people who have no desire or incentive to buy the DVDs and probably would just not watch anymore if they couldn't get the shows for free or very cheap.
You have a product that is designed to make money by being shown on TV weekly, You know?
And you're not showing it on TV weekly.
And you're not. Well, they are. Naruto's on TV.
No,
isn't
but
it?
the problem is people already saw the fan sub. So I got ahead, and then because of the idiocy of how the Japanese companies license anime, and they're so afraid of reimportation that they always make the licenses get so delayed that, all right, I've seen some fan subs. I like the show. By the time they release it in the US in English, legitimately, I'm already on episode 30. Now, this isn't me. I don't do this, but I'm speaking from a Narutard standpoint. Why the hell am I going to start from episode 1 again? I already know what happens. And why the hell am I going to wait until forever when they bring out the next DVD past episode 30? So these kids really have no incentive other than charity to buy the DVDs.
And if they're not a Nielsen house, what does it matter if they watch the fan sub or if they watch it on TV? They're gonna the person who's downloading the fan sub will actually probably is a more dedicated fan and will probably spend more money on the Naruto headband and the merchandise and the manga and all that jazz.
Now, I don't know what to do about this. I mean, here's the problem: we don't have the solution. I don't think anyone has a solution.
I have some ideas.
I know
I can't guarantee their solutions, though.
I know that what the anime industry in America is doing right now is not the solution.
No.
But I really don't know what to do. I see no way to make money in the long run off of selling DVDs that the majority of people who theoretically would want them are not going to buy. And you can't stop the fan subbers. Even if no matter what you do, there's no way to stop it.
Well, I think the way to make money from selling DVDs is just, DVDs shouldn't be the primary focus, right? It's like, look at HBO, right? HBO sells the DVD box sets of all their series, right? The Simpsons and the Futurama box sets are very popular and they sell lots of copies, right? But those are primarily on TV, and the DVDs are secondary. What they should do is, if I was an anime licensor, right, especially with this writer's strike, the TV channels are dying for content, right? I would push my anime series hardcore to get it in a great TV time slot with lots and lots of marketing. Maybe I would try to work with Japan to make a new anime that would really appeal to like the HBO audience, or something I could get on prime time or something, right? And since I was just something I licensed from Japan and not a new thing made by writers in the US, I wouldn't need to hire any writers and I could get it on TV and there'd be no competition. And then,
or I think another equally valid way with these shonen fighting shows would be to release them subtitled, because it seems like most fans are willing to just watch the subtitles digitally online for a couple bucks an episode.
Well, they do that sometimes, kind of now.
Yeah, but not as it's coming out in Japan. Not as quick as the fan subbers, which isn't good enough for these kids. It's got to be right away, or they're just going to watch the fan sub.
Yeah.
The Japanese companies don't seem to ever want to have that happen.
But if you put the show on TV, you get your money because all these advertisers give you all this money because they don't know any better.
But what if all the anime fans just TiVo it?
It won't matter because they'll buy the incredibly cheap box set because you're only going to release the season box sets just like HBO does. The DVDs are sort of the supplement. You put something on TV as primarily a TV show, and then you sort of make a few extra bucks because you can sell DVD box sets on the side. You don't make DVDs and downloads the primary thing, because they're a supplement, not a, in terms of the money making end.
I mean, we have a bunch of other ideas too, but just in the interest of brevity, and so I can go to bed and maybe make some dinner.
Well, I want to make my point about there's not good anime anymore. Also, though,
it's already gone on too long.
No, let me make the point.
All right, hurry up, and then we're going to bed.
All right, the other factor here that I've been thinking about recently is, right, look, anime has been around for a long time, since, technically longer, but basically since Astro Boy, anime as we know it. It's like late 50s, early 60s, right? It's ancient, right? But anime, took off as a cool thing in the US in late 90s-ish, right? Something like that. And at that time, when anime took off, it took off because of sci-fi animes from, the 70s and the 80s and things like that. And when the anime got big at first, they slowly licensed more and more things, but what they did is they cherry-picked the best anime from history. They had all this history of anime, and what did they do? They went for the big guns. They went, for the Robotech action. They went for the Gundam action.
Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, Escaflowne.
Right. They got all these great Akira, all the great movies of anime, all the Miyazakis, Akira, all the stuff, right? All the good stuff is what they got. And then after they finished up getting the best of history of anime, they said, all right, what do we do now? Well, let's see what's coming out this year. We've already and they started licensing every show or almost every show every year. And the thing is that while they were able to, garner fandom in a lot of those shows, most of the shows are crap. There's maybe one, even as an anime fan, a big anime fan, there's maybe one good show every few years. Not one good. It's not like
I would
these
say
shows are good.
one great show, because there are good shows, but
good shows.
There aren't these great shows that
I'm willing to buy on DVD maybe once every few years. And movies are even rare. Satoshi Kon makes a movie every 2 or 3 years, right? Miyazaki makes a movie about just as slow, if not slower. There's the speed of anime production, at least for the big, high-quality shows that everyone loves and will remember forever and spend a lot of money on and buy DVDs of, is not common. So they made a lot of money when they licensed all the greats of history all at once. And now there's not a lot of new things to be licensed that are great at a fast enough rate to sort of have constant new content making a lot more money. And everyone already bought all the good stuff they licensed before. So now what do?
Now they're selling those great shows again to try to make more money.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because I'm buying Cowboy Bebop, now that it's going to be a $30 box set. But
so basically what it comes down to is fans like us, people who are really, really into anime, really have no incentive to buy anime DVDs or anime merchandise, and yet we're not breaking any laws or pirating either. So as a result, what do? If your biggest fans are no longer a source of income, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, it's not that I don't want anime in general. I do. It's that there's not enough specific animes that I desire greatly enough that I'm going to spend money to watch them, or that I need to own the DVDs. And I think, from seeing a lot of other people, I think that's the sort of a general, even if people don't realize they feel that way, I think a lot of people do feel that way. Like, there's just, their desire for the anime is not so high. They're not watching a fan sub in lieu of buying. They're only watching the fan sub because it's so easy. And if there was no fan sub, they just wouldn't watch.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com, where you'll find show notes, links, our awesome forum, a link to our Frapper map, and links to all the RSS feeds.
We say feeds plural because Geeknights airs 4 nights a week, covering 4 different brands of geekery. Mondays are science and technology. Tuesdays, we have video games, board games, and RPGs. Wednesdays are anime, manga, comic nights. And Thursdays are the catch-alls for various rants and tomfoolery.
You can send us feedback by email to geeknights@frontrowcrew.com. Or you can send audio feedback via Odeo. Just click the link that says Send Me an Audio on the right side of our website.
If you like what you hear, you can catch the last 100 episodes in iTunes or in your favorite podcatcher. For the complete archives, visit the website, which has everything.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 2.5 license. This means you can do whatever you want with it as long as you give us credit, don't make money, and share it in kind. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.